Hey there, welcome to the UkeStuff channel and welcome to this tutorial video for Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas Is You. What we're going to do in this video is, first of all, we're going to look at the chords you need for GCEA soprano concert or tenor ukulele. Then we'll take a look at the chords you need for baritone DGBE ukulele, and then we'll talk about strumming. If you like the chords you see in the song, you can find the chord chart or tabs at UkeStuff.info, which is my blog. Look under the page for those chord charts, and it's in there alphabetically. And if you want to support the channel, there are three things you can do. First of all, you can like the video. Second, you can subscribe to the channel. And third, you can always buy me a cup of coffee to say thank you for making this content at buymeacoffee.com/ukestuff. All right, let's begin with the chords you need for GCEA soprano concert or tenor ukulele. I'll be using this instrument. This is my Martin Model 2 concert ukulele. The first chord is the G chord, then the E minor chord. Now, a couple ways you can play E minor. One way is by putting your first finger on the first string, second fret, and waterfalling down, leaving the fourth string open. You can also play the G chord, and then just add your pinky to the third string, fourth fret, while playing the G chord. So if you're on a G chord and going to E minor, it's a great way to do it. Then the C chord, then the D chord. There are a bunch of ways you can play D. I usually play D by putting my first finger at the top of the second fret and my other two fingers around it. Some people will go 1, 2, 3. Some people do 2 fingers. Some people will do 1 finger. Please just don't reach over with your thumb to do it. Then we've got our C minor chord, which is just a bar chord. So you just pull against all 3 strings, 1, 2, 3, right at the middle third fret, or right above it. And then just pull against the fretboard, and that should make it pretty easy to play, that C minor chord. The B7 is basically your E minor, except you're up 1 string. So you go up to the second string, second fret, and you waterfall down. You've got your E7, which is one of my favorite chords because I like the fact that I can rest my hand up here against the headstock. Feels really good to me. One of my favorite chords. And then an A minor chord. And those are the chords you need to play All I Want for Christmas Is You on GCEA soprano concert or tenor ukulele. Now let's take a look at baritone ukulele. For baritone ukulele, I'm not even using a baritone ukulele. I'm using my Tom concert ukulele. And it is a solid mahogany top with laminate mahogany back and sides. But I put on Pepe Romero baby baritone strings on it. So now it's acting like a baritone tuned DGBE. The first chord is the G chord. Then the E minor chord. Then the C chord. Then the D chord. Now, the first non-traditional chord really that, I mean, it is traditional, it's used a lot, but nonetheless, like the most commonly used chords, this is not going to be one of the top 10. But your C minor chord, what you're going to want to do is put your first and second fingers on strings 4 and 2 respectively at the first fret, and then your pinky where you normally play your G chord. That's your C minor chord. Then your B7 chord. One of my favorite chords to play is that B7. Again, because I rotate my wrist up a little bit, and I put my first finger down and the other 2 fingers. Then E7 chord. And then your A minor chord, which is just your C chord with an extra finger on it. And those are the chords you need to play All I Want for Christmas Is You on baritone DGBE ukulele. Now let's talk about strumming. Now, before we begin with strumming, let me just remind you that there was no ukulele in the original version of the song, so there is no one singular right answer. And if you don't like what I'm suggesting, please, by all means, play what you want to play. As long as you can play it, it sounds good with the music, and you're keeping up with the tempo, that's all that matters. You're right. But if you can't figure out a strumming pattern on your own, that's what this part of the video is here for, to help you do that. And my hope is that in the future, you can find your own strumming pattern because there's not a single right answer. Now, as we go here, the very first thing I want to talk about is at the very beginning of the song, the piano and bells sort of arpeggiate the notes. So what I would do is go from low to high on a GCEA high G reentrant instrument, or even on a baritone that's reentrant where your fourth string is higher than your third string. What I would do is go from low to high, and it would sound like this. And actually, you do play that last one as a strum. So I'm going on a reentrant 3, 2, 4, 1. even though some of them are the same, it's okay. 3, 2, 4, 1, then C, 3, 2, 4, 1, and then strum. That works out pretty well. Now let me grab the baritone here. So with baritone, our fourth string is now our lowest note. So I would start with the fourth string and go up. 4, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then your D, which is a single strum. The other thing I want to point out is that as I'm playing this, I'm letting my thumb do strings 4 and 3, and then finger 2 is playing string 2, and finger 3 is playing string 1. So then you got your G chord, 4, 3, 2, 1, E minor, 4, 3, 2, 1, C chord, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then a single strum. And that's going to work really well for the arpeggiation that's needed at the beginning of the song. Now let's talk about the rest of the song. All right, for strumming, let me just give you 2 ideas that you might want to try. The first one is more simplified, and you do have to shuffle. So you have to play 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and rather 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. The difference being on a G chord. Straight, shuffle. After making sure that I could play the shuffle, then what I would do is this. I would go down, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down. A little faster. Like that. So down, 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 up, down, up, down, up would work really well. Now, if you want to play something a little more fancy, you can add a chuck and change the pattern a little bit. So I would go down, up, chuck, up, down, up, chuck, up, down, up, chuck, up, down, up, chuck. A chuck is hitting all 4 strings with your fingers and then muting the sound with your palm. It's often called a palm mute. Sometimes it's called chunking. Down, up, chunk, up, down, up, chunk. So let's try that sequence. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again. And notice it's still down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up without the chunk. But add the chuck or the chunk or the palm mute. Works really well. All right, so with those chords and with those couple ideas of strumming, that's all you need to do to be successful on All I Want for Christmas Is You by Mariah Carey. I hope you're having a great day. I hope you're having a great holiday season, and I'll be back soon with some more Uke stuff for you.